Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's performance of
The Diz Explorers
will begin in 2 minutes. Excellent
listening
locations are still available all around Showcase Promenade. Due to the use of
alcohol and opinions.
around the lagoon, for your safety, we request that you remain on the promenade side of all railings. During the show, please watch your step and take small children firmly by the hand. Once again, this evening's performance of
The Diz Explorers
will begin in just 2 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Diz Explorers podcast, where each week we explore the many avenues of the great Disney universe. So this week, we tried very hard to have a absolute full crew, including Miss Crystal, who is back from her little hiatus, but Skype is being we'll keep it family friendly on this one, since I slipped up on the last one, is not playing nice and not allowing her to speak. She can hear us, but we cannot hear her. Hopefully she gets it straightened out. We've been screwing around with it forever, so she can jump back on and join us. Carrying on as the rest of the five of us are here, 4 or 5, whoever.
However many.
The rest of us are here, and today, I guess we have a bunch of different topics, kind of recent news things that have transpired over the past week, which I know we kind of generally don't always do, but it's, as usual with Disney stuff that comes out, it's hot topics, it's new stuff, and I think I like that this stuff kind of comes out right after we record, because then you get the initial reaction and the craziness and oh my god, I hate this, or oh, I love this, and then it's like, all right, everybody kind of settles and really reads into it and thinks about it for a minute. So I think by the time we generally get around to talking to it as a group, it's usually been a week or so has gone by, so it's like the gut reactions have settled and we can have like a good conversation about it, I think, which is why I'm hoping everybody enjoyed the Star Wars episode, because listening back to it as I edited it, it was really, like, I even learned more just listening again to it, because, when we're talking about all this stuff, we're all listening to each other and reacting to everything, but I don't know how much, like, I know for me, I don't exactly take everything in, so it's good that I hear it back a second time. Kind of wish school was like that. I probably would have been better off. If they explained things, like if each class like repeated itself the next day. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. So I guess I don't know, what do you guys want to start with? There's even Disneyland stuff too, which is always great. So do we want to start off with that? Jessica, you want to start off with, want to get you fired up first?
Yeah, because I feel like mine's not as drama-filled this time as I think Disney World is. So,
is it ever?
Basically,
are you saying that we're whiny over here on the East Coast?
No, I'm saying usually Disneyland has more drama and more people complaining, so it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Basically, the story of Disneyland right now is just walls. There are walls everywhere, and there are more walls up right now than there were in preparation for the 60th anniversary in 2015. I've never seen anything like it. So in California Adventure right now, Paradise Pier has officially closed, and it's splitting into 2 lands, Paradise Park and Pixar Pier. So that means some of our favorite attractions like the Little Mermaid and Goofy Sky School and the Silly Swings are all safe. They're not changing. They're not going anywhere. And that whole space is keeping the beachside Victorian boardwalk theme. And then the back half of the land where Midway Mania is and California Screaming is becoming Pixar Pier. So the whole backside of California Adventure is just walls up, and Midway Mania is staying open during this whole refurbishment. So to get to the attraction, you have to walk between two, like this long corridor of doors or of walls, and it just looks really ugly, and it's kind of it's jarring because usually California Adventure, if they're doing construction, the whole area is closed off, so you don't notice it as much. But if you're walking just through walls, it's pretty horrible. But the worst situation is over in Disneyland, because for the first time since 1955, they are completely redoing the track that runs down Main Street that the horse-drawn cars all go on. And they said that they want to make it look kind of more cohesive with the street, and I'm taking that to mean they don't want as many people tripping over it, and they kind of want it to blend in better and that sort of thing. But to do that, they have not closed it section by section, which is what I kind of was hoping they would do, and instead they've put walls up all the way down the street, down the middle, to block it off. So the center hub with the partner statue is blocked off. The town square with the flag is all blocked off. So you have to walk either completely on the left side or completely on the right side to get down the street. And the walls at the end even block off basically half the castle if you're walking down Main Street. So it's just hideous. It's crazy congested. So if you've been considering a trip to Disneyland and you have the ability to postpone it, I would recommend waiting until May or even the fall if you don't want to deal with summer crowds, because it's just a nightmare right now. It's really ugly and unfortunate. So it's not really controversy. It's as much as people just griping about this stuff. And Pixar Pier is supposed to open in the summer, so it's just going to be a lot of walls for the next couple of months in the happiest place on earth.
I didn't realize that was going to be finished so quickly.
Yeah, there's not a ton that they're doing. They said they're adding a new attraction that's family friendly, but they haven't said what it is. So I think it's just going to be a really small basic ride. And then it's mostly just overlays. I mean, even California Screamin', they're keeping the exact same track, and they're just adding characters and different voiceovers and stuff. So it's nothing super major.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the main things happening in Disneyland. So just a lot of, if you go on Twitter and you follow any Disneyland people, it's just complaining all day long. It's just, guys, we have to figure out how to just not harp on this constantly.
Well, I don't know. I think it's like anything else. It's Disney World. It's the same thing, I guess, depending on what it is. But it seems like one thing after the other. And one thing happens, it cools down for a couple of weeks or whatever it is, and something else changes and something else happens, and then it's the outrage of the week, if you would. But it seems like the things that people are getting fired up about now are things that just aren't worth it. I don't know. To me, at least. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinions, and
well, I kind of stand in the camp of, like, some of this stuff bothers me. I'm really annoyed that Screamin' is gone, but I don't just constantly complain and yell about it on Twitter, because it doesn't change the fact that it's gone.
Right. I mean,
so be sad that it's gone and then just move on. Or if it really bothers you that much, then stop tweeting about Disneyland, because you said that you don't like it. We get it, but it doesn't change anything,
Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of the gut reaction stuff. I can
me
definitely
too.
say that, but it's over within a thread, and then I'm on from complaining about it to laughing and making fun of it, and then it is what it is after that, because they can give a rat's ass what I'm thinking about.
I mean, everybody has the right to voice when they're upset. It's just when it's endless and relentless and just over and over, it just is noise after a while. It's not a discussion anymore. It's just ranting.
Yes. Agreed. So, well, like you said, though, at least it's not, eternal. It's not like the studios where it's been forever and shrinking, and the actual park seems to be shrinking, and the walled area seems to be growing. Pretty soon, you're just going to walk through the turnstiles, and it's going to be like a hallway to get to the back of the park.
The one time I went to Disney World was in January 2015, and Hollywood Studios already had a ton of stuff closed, and people were saying it was basically a half-day park. So I can't even imagine what it's like now. And they moved up the opening of Toy Story Land, didn't they?
I believe so. I'm not sure well, it's supposed to be summer this year, I believe. I think.
For both?
I thought Disneyland was first, right? Or is that just for Star Wars?
So Disneyland is not getting a Toy Story Land.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, right.
That's
duh.
right.
But
I thought they were
another
both.
park-
Never mind.
I thought they were both getting both. Sorry.
Another park is getting one. I don't remember if it's Shanghai or Tokyo,
You are correct.
but somebody is getting one, but it's not
Okay,
Disneyland.
it's not Disneyland. Okay. As far as I know, I think it's just still summer 2018. I don't know that they've even put a month to it yet.
I don't
at
think
least,
they have.
At least that I've heard. So I think they've learned their lessons from all that stuff.
It's still supposed to be this year.
Okay. So we'll see. So I guess, I mean, staying on I guess the studio things quickly. I get, people. I think, and this has been floating around for a couple of weeks, but I don't know if we ever mentioned it. People have been complaining more or less about. I don't know if it's complaining or making fun of the fact that the Slinky Dog coaster, I guess, is some sort of it's supposed to be a family type coaster. So I don't know if it's along the same lines of what Mine Train is. It seemed to have a similar technology where the cars themselves within the coaster cars are supposed to move along with the track. I think every time Disney goes to build a new roller coaster, people want something that's like the next step above Rock and Roller Coaster. And that's not Disney's game. They're not. They have
They're not a thrill ride.
They're thrill rides, but they're not thrill rides that only mid-20. They're not building it just for mid-20-year-olds and 30-year-olds like other theme parks around the nation do. They're just not, and then they retool them every 15 years or whatever, 10 years, because then people get bored of going on these 30-second rides that increase your heart rate and take years off your life. And as for me, who don't enjoy those type of roller coasters, I'm totally fine if they make a million more roller coasters that are along the lines of the Mine Train or any of the such. I like Rock and Roller Coaster, but the older I get, the less my body enjoys it. So unfortunately, there's gonna.
I feel your pain so much.
There's gonna come a time where I'm just not gonna be able to go on it anymore, and that's what happened with Tower of Terror. So I'm just hoping it never gets to the point where, like my parents is now, he's reduced to pretty much just Big Thunder, and he's in his late 60s, but he can't deal with the other ones. So,
Right.
which sucks, So I'm just hoping that I, get to that long at least, because I'll be very sad. But anyway, so, people complaining about the Slinky Dog coaster, family thing. Just, look at it. It looks silly. It looks like it's, 3-4 hills and you're done and whatever it is, what it is. And I don't know. I don't know that many roller
Were
coasters.
they expecting something different in a land called Pixar Land? I mean, it's a kiddie coaster.
Right.
It's probably going to.
It's thematically appropriate.
Yeah. And I bet you it's going to be.
No.
And I bet you it's going to be fun as hell.
Kids are going to love it.
Well, the thing I love the most is when Mine Train came online and people rode it and everything else, and everybody was amazed by it and they loved it and everything else. And then all of a sudden, after the first month or so, but it's so short. Why is it so short? And then people started.
That was
and
my
then
immediate. Yeah.
Yeah, but then if you
It feels short.
it feels short. But if you clock,
It feels short.
if you clock all of them, they're all within like 10 seconds. Space, Thunder, and the Mine Train are all within like 10 seconds of each other. Splash being
I wonder why it feels so short then.
because it's
And
so
I think
because
it's
it's cut
so
up in the middle.
smooth. It's so smooth.
Well, but you take that break in the middle where you
Yes.
go through the mine and
Right, slows
so
it
you've got a short
down.
little bit and then another short little bit.
Right.
I wish there was more of that.
Yeah, that part
I know,
was really
it's
cool.
awesome.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's a great.
Unless you get stuck there and then it's fine.
Yeah, well, then it's like, oh,
Just saying.
yeah. Then it's an earworm.
Then it's terrible.
Oh, if you
Agreed.
can hang on It's a Small World, you can hang on getting stuck on Mine Train.
I don't mind either
Well,
one.
I've never been stuck on Small World.
You haven't?
No, thank gosh. Mine Train was bad
You
enough.
don't need to be stuck. This I'm about to say, I love the song. I mean, it's one of my favorites, and I actually like this song. But
I do too.
man, that will get stuck in your head.
I've been
You
back.
get stuck in your
absolutely
head
adore
waiting
this
in the
song.
line.
I've been backed up on that thing in the Disney World one. I've been backed up in there because of just on holiday
unloading.
times before you get into the last full white room, and then and so you're talking the ride itself is about 12 minutes. So you're talking, and then maybe a sitting time, an extra unload time of another 10 or 12, depending on how backed up it is. Pirates gets like that too, and it's busy. It backs all the way up through the jail scene and into the burning town.
Right.
But Pirates, I don't mind sitting on. I don't mind the Small World either. There's so much to look at in that room. You can kind of focus the song out and, kind of look at all the other stuff. Look for a bulb that's out here or there.
It's a pretty neat space, but yeah.
But
so I wonder how long this Slinky Train ride thing is going
I don't
to be.
know. I'm sure as soon as they start testing it and there's aerial footage, and I'm sure they'll put something somewhere on it. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. It'll probably be along the same lines. The same
I mean,
lines.
it's in Pixar land.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be. They already have Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror. They're not going to put any.
Nobody
thing
complains
that
about
really-
Rock and Roller Coaster. That's like 45 seconds.
It is fast too. But
But that's the point of that style of roller coaster. Look at all those crazy
Right?
ones that are
I
all over the
couldn't take
country.
Rock and Roller Coaster if it was any longer.
Oh hell no, me neither.
I'll get a headache.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm pushing it now with the 2 inversions.
It's a very jarring coaster for me. I'm 42, so
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
yeah, me too.
We'll take
So
that
it's same here. So same age.
So
And,
yeah, it's a jarring coaster. It just is. It kind of rocks you about and slams your head around. But so I'm sure Slinky will be a much milder, calmer experience.
You know what
And
it's
it will
going to be?
probably be fun.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be fun as hell.
Yep.
And that's the way I look at the Mine Train. It's a flippin' fun thing, and being going on with my kids and their hands in the air and they're giggling. I don't care if it's 10. I don't care if it's 10 seconds long. Looking at them and they're having fun, then I'm good.
Absolutely.
I'm good. And I wish more
So
people
other than
would look
Mine
at it
Train,
that way.
what else is coming for Pixar Land? They're redoing that track for Toy Story.
Well, they're
Then
moving.
we're
They're
gonna get the Slinky
supposedly
coaster.
they're supposedly moving the entrance for Toy Story, so I guess that's supposed to be going down soon.
Okay.
And for some reason, they have to close the attraction to move the entrance and the queue, which I don't understand why, but I guess for whatever reason they have to do that. So people are up in arms about that because now there's one less thing going on and having to do in there. Oh, that
And
was
they're not reducing the price.
And Potato Head will be outside.
that was the other thing that happened.
Potato Head.
This will get some people fired up if it's your sort of thing. So I'm a music person, loving all the background loops around it. So
Right.
all the background loops, original background loops, are now gone at the studios, and new ones came online earlier last week, and it's a lot of big. Most of the areas, I guess, are very similar, except for the horrible crap that's in the new baseline area. But I guess Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard, Echo Lake, different decades of big band of Disney songs.
Okay.
There are some clips that people were posting. I love it. I love big band music.
That sounds great.
And big band versions of Disney songs. Like, people had one of, like, do you want to build a snowman? And they're like, this is blah, blah, blah. Dude, I mean, come on.
I think it sounds awesome.
I thought it
haven't
was
listened
awesome.
to any of it, but just the idea of it.
No, it's fantastic.
I can't wait until the online radio stations get a hold of it and get some good copy out there.
Me either. I'm so waiting
So,
for that. If not,
Let me know.
if not in
You're on it
April,
before I am.
I am. I'm gonna buy myself a digital recorder and just sit by speakers all day and record them all. That's what these other people do anyway. So I'm excited to hear all those live. In April, nothing else is going to be open yet in the studios the next time we're there, but I'll definitely, wander a little slower through the streets. I mean, I liked the old loops of the old songs and the old classic stuff, but none of it is relevant to what that park is anymore. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, and I have copies of those loops and I can listen to them. It's not the same as listening to them in the park, but none of them make sense anymore with what's there. And people who are going to the park now don't remember or know of most of those shows. I mean, you had Happy Days themes were playing, and MASH and the A-Team, and I mean those original loops down by the Great Movie Ride and by the commissary, but nobody knows those shows anymore.
But I think what's neat about the new music that came out last week is that it kind of, I mean, we've been seeing walls and we've kind of been hearing a little bit of the banging of the construction. But when the new music debuted, it's kind of like they've really been working on this. And it's not just attractions, it's not
Right.
just shows. It is complete theming, complete immersion.
Total retheme.
So
Yep.
exactly. So they've been working. I'll give them props for that. And I like
Absolutely.
big band stuff anyway.
I do too. You know what it is? It's gonna put, not that the other stuff wasn't upbeat, but it puts a whole different feel into it. I believe
It's a new part. I mean,
a little
think of it as a new
livelier,
part.
a little, lack of a better word, jazz it up a little bit. I don't know. I know
Sure.
some people and purists are
Right.
not going to be happy
Keep
about
moving
it.
forward, people. Keep moving
Like
forward.
like anything else, you know what I mean? And then hearing stuff today about there was some stuff floating around. Should Disney have waited to close the movie ride now that they acquired Fox? Could they have, I don't know how long the Fox deal was on the table. I'm sure it was in the works long before it hit the public. Who the hell knows? I think
Right.
the movie ride, nothing was going to save it at that point. I think they had long been wanting to put in some sort of a Mickey Mouse based attraction, and that was probably just the easiest thing to do. So who knows? Not going to beat that dead horse again, but I did see that on a few Twitter things today about that. Did they pull the trigger too soon on closing it now that they have Fox and blah blah blah? So who the hell knows? Anybody can speculate anything. But the other thing that happened, I guess it was the end of last week or midweek. Rumors were swirling about a sort of like a pay-to-play upgrade for fast passes for guests staying at concierge levels at basically all the deluxe hotels, is what we came to when we were talking about this before we started recording. So basically guests who have a booked reservation, I'll let you guys elaborate on it because you have all the details better than I do. Yeah. So
Adrianne has the list.
Yeah.
But it's the club level.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Club level at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Beach Club, Boardwalk, Contemporary, Grand Floridian, Polynesian, Wilderness Lodge, Yacht Club. And then it also includes the cabins at Copper Creek Villas, the bungalows at the Polynesian, and, which I also thought was interesting, the Presidential Suites, Governor Suites, Parlor Suites, and parlor alcove rooms at the Swan and Dolphin.
So all those
Right.
except the Swan and Dolphin are pretty much DVC properties. At least, the Copper
Correct.
Creek and the bungalows are,
Right.
are DVC specific. So
But what it is, it's for $50 per day. You and your family at 90 days prior to check-in can begin reserving 3 additional fast passes to the 3 that you get at 60 days. So these club level guests are going to check in with 6 fast passes per day if they choose to pay that $50 per person per day. It's per person per day, right?
Listed as
Right.
per pass.
Per person
Yeah.
per day.
not
person per
person
day.
per day.
not per family.
So for a family of 4,
So similar to Max Pass, which
Yeah.
is $10
Yes.
per person per day, correct?
Right.
right,
Okay.
with a minimum of 3 days. So for a family of 4, that's $200 a day. 3 days, that's $600. That's a minimum of adding $600 to your club level resort accommodations, plus your ticket purchases that you've already made.
Well, most of those people
So-
are probably APs, you would think, and unless
Yeah.
Or
somebody-
they're staying club level at a deluxe.
right.
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 that's
The
families
difference
that aren't-
with
yeah.
Yeah, the difference with Max Pass is that you don't get any extra fast passes. It just means you
Right.
don't have to run to the kiosk. So this is kind of a new level of I think RJ said pay to play, which kind of
Right.
changes it. Changes. I think that's why people are upset. It's not that it's digital; it's that it's extra.
Yes.
I think they're
So-
also thinking that those 90-day fast pass grabbers are going to reduce availability at 60 days.
Yeah. It's
Well, because it doesn't include tiers. So
Right,
y'all
it's
know I have
blanket.
issues with the tier problem. It's anything. So that means if they're going to Epcot, they can get Soarin' and they can get Frozen, and whatever else is tier 1. I can't remember. And at Hollywood Studios,
Test
that
Track.
means they're getting Test Track plus Soarin'. I mean, not sorry. Yeah, Test Track. That's the other one.
Yep.
And at Hollywood Studios, they're getting Toy Story Mania and they're getting Rock and Roller Coaster. So,
Right.
especially at a park like Hollywood Studios, where there's about 5 rides
Yeah.
altogether, you know?
3.
So,
Yeah.
3.
Or 4.
Then
Sorry.
In general, I don't have a problem with this. I really don't. Like, if you, like we said before we started recording, if I had the money, I'm on it like white on rice, because that's going to make my trip that much easier. And I've got no problems with it whatsoever. My issue is,
and I don't begrudge anybody who's going to pay for it.
No, I don't either. Go for it. If it's a thing, you do your thing.
Yep.
But my issue with Disney's process is that they're restricting it to only club level guests.
Right.
For now.
So that's for now,
so,
that's true.
So that part of the rumor never really came out. I talked to my contact at Disney, and he says this is just a pilot program.
Yeah, it's I'm sure
This
it
is
is.
Kinda like the
like
dogs.
everything. And so, but if people are going to do it, then
Right.
it's going to stick around. 'Cause
It'll
it's gonna
stick
make them
around.
money.
Right.
Yeah, this will.
But did
If
the
this
tent
is
stay?
successful, it'll get rolled to everybody.
But you have to think, though, that seeing people pay for the express passes at Universal and any other
Which I did.
coaster
with
park,
doing
people
Universal.
pay for that.
Yeah.
And Disney, who are masters at maximizing their profits, have not been charging for fast passes since their inception.
Right. It was always.
I remember when fast
right.
passes first came out, people gave me dirty looks because they thought I had paid to
Paid.
get that access.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you go over
You
to
just-
the machine there and you get them for free.
You could do
and
it
they're like,
included
"What?"
in your admission. Yeah.
Yeah. Before, Disney social media took off like, gangbusters, people
Yeah.
didn't understand what fast passes were.
No, not at all.
But
and it was
you know,
awesome.
I know, right? They were like those golden first
And it was
5 years of the
fantastic.
Fast Pass. Oh, it was beautiful, beautiful. But now, obviously, everybody knows, and the digital is taken over. So this is just, one way that I'm sure Disney has been wanting for a very long time to monetize fast passes.
Yep.
Right.
And
Or at
this
least
is
some
the
form
first
of it.
Step.
I hope.
think this is getting used to getting people used to paying for them. This is
Right.
the idea of paying for it. There's baby steps.
Yeah.
Now, then the deluxe guests will be able to do it. Then it'll be everybody on site will be able to do it. And then it'll be some kind of big fast pass that you just pay for as part of your vacation. And
I
like a
hope
park
it
hopper.
never. I hope it never ends. I hope the end game is not that, because that I'll
I do
be.
too, because that's
I'll
one of
be
the
dis-
reasons that I
I hope so,
prefer
but-
Disney to Universal.
Yeah.
Because I dropped $1,000 extra on top of tickets to get their express pass for our
Mhm.
one day there last year for my family of
Mhm.
4.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Well,
Was that because you
but if
stayed
you
in a
only
higher
have
priced
one
room?
day,
No, we were staying off property.
Oh,
It was because it was peak season, so it cost
Right.
more per person,
Yeah.
and we did the unlimited as opposed to just you can get 3, I think.
Oh.
So
Okay.
we were thinking we had one day at Universal. We were going to maximize our time. And so we spent the extra money. But I mean, like I'm saying, if you got the money, do your thing.
Oh yeah. No, if you have the money, do your
Yep.
thing. Yes. I don't
But
have
I don't
the
like
money.
the
so.
90-day thing. I don't like that extra thing. I already have a hard enough time getting a flight of passage fast pass.
Yeah.
So can we not make that day more stressful for me, please?
Yeah. I know.
That's all I'm asking.
I was shocked to see that because just opening the extra 3 fast passes, I think Disney still would have gotten the same response, the
Yeah.
positive side of the response, the people who were actually buying it. I think if they opened it at 60 days, they would have seen that same group of people being excited that you just gave them 3 more.
Yeah.
I think giving them it 90 days is just giving them one more thing to have to plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, just
Hey,
push it to 60
That's
days
true.
and let me get
That's
them done
another
all
date
at
I got to
once.
put on my calendar.
hey, and
Mhm.
$150 a day, $200 a day if you got 4 people and a 3-day minimum, that's $600.
$600.
I might as well pay for a VIP tour for the day.
Right.
Yeah. It's close
That's
to
for
it.
one day. But yeah, it is. So
Well, yeah, but based on the fact that, I'm going to get front of line access to everything for a day,
Mhm.
which is better.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. Yeah. I mean, if you
I
want
think, though, that this gets it out to the public more because not as many people know about VIP tours and the perks
Right.
that come with that. But everybody knows about fast passes if you're going to Disney.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
That's true.
and if you have a travel agent, they're more likely to push that, I would assume.
Yes, we
Yep.
are.
Absolutely. Travel
Yeah.
agent, huh?
I know. What? Sorry. I forget that I'm talking to some of y'all sometimes.
I don't know. I don't know how
Absolute-
I don't know how I feel. When I first heard it, I was like, oh great, more price increases, expensive, more money. Just not, I'm not going to be able to. When I'm there with my family and my kids, it's just going to be more of, just more, and it's.
I just hope that
that's-
y'all are right, that it will eventually expand to everybody can pay to play, because it just falls into that same complaint that we hear about Disney all the time, is that it's becoming elitist and that the average middle
Yes.
class family can't go and enjoy it anymore.
Yes.
And
That's
so
what I'm afraid of.
that's the only thing that I hope that it really is a pilot to expand, and not that's the way it's going to be, that only the people that can afford at minimum $600 a night for a room
Right.
can enjoy that extra perk.
Can enjoy the extra perks. Yes, I agree.
So I'll pose a question. If you were just going to the parks, would you like a structure where it's pay per fast pass? Like say it was, $10 per fast pass. Would you like
Not
anything?
now that I've gotten used to what I've got.
Yeah, no,
Well, yeah,
because that's just
but
So
I
if you're
don't-
adding,
bad.
$80
But I don't mind
for an
paying
express
for
pass.
additional.
Yeah, I mean, if you're adding an $80 for an express pass, is that how much the unlimited is? I can't remember the universal tiering.
Universal, we ended. I don't. It was
I don't-
$1,000 for a family of 4.
I have no idea.
So it's like $250 on top.
Yeah.
So if you're adding, then think about if you're doing, 15 rides, what you just, you're basically paying that much per ride anyway. I'm like,
So
I'd
the
pay $10 a fast
But
pass.
then it almost takes away from some of the enjoyment too, because I remember we got in ride for Hulk at Universal, and that line took forever, and I was like, then I got into that mode that I paid $1,000 for this, and I am standing in line for an hour.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I don't want that in the back of my head either.
Right. See, the other thing is now, in doing that, it's still one park per day. Like you couldn't
Oh no,
do
you can get them in separate parks too.
it with this one. You could.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay, that makes
It's
sense.
not limiting you.
Because, like you said earlier, there's not 6 things to get a fast pass for in the studios.
It's true.
Well, I guess there is. If you
Hop on
count
the boat and get some of that pot.
if you
Yeah,
count
the
the
shows,
shows,
maybe.
I guess if you count the shows, because I know there's one for Frozen and there's one for Beauty and the Beast or Fantasmic. So I guess if you wanted to, you could burn 6 in the studios, or you could do multiples.
Is
of
Indiana
something.
Jones still open?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. And it should stay open.
It should be updated.
I like
Hurry.
that show. It should
I
be
love
up.
it too.
It should be updated.
That was a
yes.
great
Should be
show.
updated.
But I like that show. I really enjoy it. My
It
daughter
will be
likes
till they
it.
move it to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care where they
Oh,
put it.
I'm sorry. Did I say that?
As long as they have it, as long as it's somewhere, I don't care. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it personally. It just seems like it's one more step towards, like Adrianne said, pricing out the middle class and the normal people, and it's just going to be, literally going to be like, the bubble that they want to create with the people they want walking through their gates.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that that's
So-
what's going on. It's just
No,
what
it probably isn't. It just seems that way when the common folk are the ones that, can't.
But I think they may be getting a little bit out of touch.
Well, they have had some activities or extra hours, things that they charged for that just didn't go over that well because I think it just felt elitist
Yes.
Yeah.
and that they pulled back on things like that.
That's what I was
They
wondering. Like,
offered it
are
for a
the
little bit.
tents still in Tomorrowland?
No.
The $750 a day tent or
No,
whatever.
those are
Oh
gone.
no,
Okay.
they
No, I
took
don't
all that.
think so.
They took
That-
the cabanas out.
That lasted not
Okay.
even a week.
Okay, good.
The backlash from that worked. Who's to say they're not going to come back in another form? But yeah, as they stood, that wasn't
Tomorrowland
happening.
pods.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think they realized what what could possibly be going on in those things during the day. So with the curtains
Don't
closed.
go there.
I didn't say anything. Yeah, so so that's that. I mean, those club level, and just to stay at those club level, any of
It's
them
ridiculous.
is
It's
ridiculous
$2,000
amount of
a
money.
night for the Copper Creek cabins.
And the bungalows, I think, are like 2,500 or 2,700.
Yeah.
How much a night
Polynesian.
for a cabinet?
2,000.
Yeah, cash value.
What the
Yeah,
website said.
points values are insane too. Like for DVC,
Yeah.
it's absolutely astronomical. It's so ridiculous.
yeah.
And I don't care what they say. I've never physically been in those bungalows. I think my uncle, they took a tour of it just because they're DVC members and they did it. There's no way in hell that thing sleeps 9 comfortably. You're supposed to fit
Also-
9 people in them. It's like 1,000 square feet.
There's no way I'm sleeping in those things now that I realize how many alligators are in there.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Mm-mm. I'm not doing it.
I don't know. You know, it's more maddening because they block the views. You can't see anything anymore from the
Yeah.
They're
beaches, you know.
ugly.
They are.
They're
They're ugly.
ugly.
They are. I agree.
My friends were there the other day, just touring the grounds. They had lunch, I think, at Ohana, and they were in front of those bungalow things. Beautiful family, ugly bungalows in the background. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you? And I
Look-
just solidified my belief that they were awful. I remember when they were being built, I'm like, they're like little boxes breaking up the beautiful water view.
It's exactly what
Yes.
they are. Unless you're actually in like Bali or Fiji or something where there's real ones on the water, then you know that's nice looking, but not when it's
Exactly. Disney.
Yeah.
That's the one thing Disney. I'm like, you went too far there.
Yes. Agreed.
You done gone too far.
Agreed.
Us agree.
But yeah, I know.
It'll never happen again.
I don't know.
Don't get used to it.
Write it down. January 15th.
I guess. I don't know. I guess people rent them. Even if
They do.
even if they stay for one night, they're still making out. I guess. Who knows? I mean, all the DVC stuff is selling out, so people are still buying stuff.
People are paying for it.
They're paying
it's
for
like
the
on Disney
points.
They're
Cruise
still
Line, like the
building
ships
new
sail
DVC
full.
resorts.
Yep.
It's like the ships. People, they sell full. People, they're not going to decrease the prices because they sail
No.
full.
They sell full.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. All the time.
Even if they discount it to Florida residents.
Right. I don't know. You know what else is full all the time, but they don't seem to be caring about is ye old monorails. What a hot mess
That
those
was
two.
debunked, right?
What was debunked? That the door
The-
was open while it was dry while it was on the track?
Oh, no. Okay, so there were 2 monorail stories this week, right? Because there was the, oh my God, which reminds me, I saw a joke about love is an open door on monorails. And I
Oh, there was tons of good
fell
memes
out
after
of my
that
chair.
happened. Yeah, there was a lot of good ones.
Oh my god.
But there was also a rumor that they were going to close down the monorails or something.
Yeah, that was debunked.
Yeah.
Something about shutting the Epcot line down because then they could use money and resources to get the resort and the express loops up to par, not necessarily with new train. Yeah, there was a whole thing, but the way the thing was worded, it was it wasn't an official thing, and it wasn't even like a WDW News Today rumor thing. I forgot where even the source was, but
it caught fire fast.
it caught fire fast. Oh yeah. No, I definitely chimed in on that one. But yeah, I don't see. I guess if they had to ever do maintenance on the tracks, they would have to do that. But I think the tracks are not the issue; it's the trains themselves. And it just.
I'm still shocked though that a company like Walt Disney World, with all of the wonderful attractions and things that they have, does not have some sort of centralized rail line to transport people.
A
That
mass
they depend
transit,
on
yeah,
buses,
oh,
mass transit. That they depend
absolutely.
on buses. There's
Oh, I know.
nothing magical
it's
about a bus.
mind-boggling.
Nothing.
No.
But
It's
So I'm
pretty
so-
soon you're gonna go on a gondola.
I'm not going on a gondola.
I'm not going on a gondola. I'll
They
never.
took them out of Magic Kingdom for a
A
reason.
reason,
people,
that's right. And now they're gonna put them longer routes and
that are more unsupervised.
unsupervised.
I mean,
Yeah.
they can't supervise that entire span.
Unless
I don't care how
there's-
many cameras you have.
Unless there's Wi-Fi cameras in every single one. But what is it gonna do?
And
Stop
from
the
the
thing?
ground that can see everything. And
What is it?
imagine what's going to happen when they go down, like something happens and they
And it
stop,
stop.
and you're stuck in the air
Exactly.
And you're
for
stuck
an
in the air.
hour in the Florida heat.
Right.
No. Fix the ground transportation. Put rails on the ground. If
On
you
the
can't
ground,
expand the monorail, put rails on the ground.
Anything.
But
Trolley system, a train,
Trolleys.
anything. anything.
Something, but putting people in the sky? Oh, no, no,
I think
no.
we just found something that Melanie is very passionate about.
Yes.
Look, I remember riding.
I mean, I'm with you though.
Oh,
The
there's-
buses are.
They
Oh.
suck. I can ride a city
They
bus
do
in my
suck.
hometown.
That opens the door and it hisses at you like a slave.
Yeah.
And buses take you to work. They take you to school. Yay.
I know.
Nobody
Hey.
wants to ride the bus. I
No.
don't care how many Disney
And
posters
they're
you slap on the
crowded,
inside.
and they're hot, and they're
And
sweaty,
they're dirty.
and then people stink from being in the parks all day.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm in
Mhm.
a 5th grade classroom again. It's awful.
Yeah. No, they suck.
They really need. That's definitely their mass transit system. I mean, it's Disney World. It's the most
I know.
innovative company in the world, and they use buses.
I know. Lots of them.
Buses. Shame on you, Disney, on that
Yeah.
one.
Shame.
Where it takes
Come
you
on.
an hour at least to get from the freaking Polynesian to
That's
Magic
what's-
Kingdom.
That's what's even worse. When they started doing it, well,
Mm.
now those are the deluxe resorts. If I'm staying there, whether I'm DVC or I've paid cash to stay at those resorts, I know it's silly when you're at the Magic Kingdom or even Epcot to take a bus to any of the deluxe resorts, but sometimes you have to if the monorails are fuller, unreliable,
They're
everything
down.
else.
Yeah.
And they don't have dedicated buses for any of those resorts. It's
Nope, you share it.
Polynesian, Contemporary, and Grand Floridian all on the same bus. Are you flipping
Mm-hmm.
kidding me? And I'm sure they get complaints constantly about it. But that's insane because I think the reasoning probably is, well, there's other ways to get here. The buses should be secondary to get to those hotels. Yeah, but not from
Right.
Studios and Animal Kingdom,
Right.
where there's no
exactly.
mass
Right.
transit besides a bus to go to. That's
Right.
that's asinine. It's even the same for, I think, Swan, Dolphin, and Boardwalk. I think are on the same line, or one or something
Yes.
along those lines.
No, Swan,
Right.
Dolphin, and Beach and Yacht Club
Something
Right.
like that.
Beach
are actually on the same bus line.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Some-
The all
And plus, aren't all the All Stars?
No, the All Stars have all their own. That was the major
Okay.
reason for the bus
they each have
expansion
their
at the
own.
Magic Kingdom, because they got all those new triple axle buses with the accordion in the middle. Because there's so many people coming out of those resorts,
Uh-huh.
Right.
and
I've been on those.
the
They're
town I
scary.
live in, has those on the major routes that go up and down Route 1 and take people from like the train station and stuff like that. We have those exact same buses in our town that
They're
Disney
scary.
has. I've never been on one. I've never been on one.
I've been on the
at
back
Disney
end of one,
or...
and I'm like, this isn't right. But hey, we got there. We didn't have to wait for the next bus.
Well, they
so.
fit 1,000 people on them, so. I mean, they shoehorn
Like
you
we
in
can't scooch back any further.
know.
We're already smushed.
now. I know. Oh yeah, good times.
It's the big strollers that people can't fold.
I was gonna say the
You know what?
giant strollers. I still don't understand why people bring giant
Don't-
strollers for just one child.
Oh, I did.
I always
did.
I've always
Yeah.
just slapped my kid in an umbrella stroller.
No,
and
because
went
you know
with it.
why? It's nice
Mhm.
to have the pouch. And my
mine had
kids-
a little
It
under
carries
thing.
your stuff.
My kids
Yeah.
wouldn't sleep in the little umbrella strollers.
Yeah, mine
If
don't
the-
sleep in strollers anyway.
No,
so.
mine did.
If the
That's why.
strollers at the parks had adequate storage, people would not bring their strollers so much. But because
Yeah.
the strollers
they
at the
weren't-
park just had that
hard
pouch.
plastic
Hard
and-
plastic.
But yeah, if they had a place to properly store a diaper bag or a backpack
Yes.
on those park
You're 100%
strollers,
right.
people would make money on
Yep.
rentals like crazy, and people would not be trying to drag their strollers on those buses.
You're 1,000% right. And that's the reason
So-
why I dragged my big. And the stroller I had was ancient because it was the one that came when we had our first child 13 years ago. That was the stroller
Mm-hmm.
with the car seat that snapped into it, the same one that snapped into
Mhm.
your car. So
Right.
it's big and old. We called it the Cadillac, but the thing was awesome. It had two cup holders. It had the thing underneath fit the diaper bag, ponchos, everything you could fully laid back. The canopy covered the whole damn thing. It had a little flip up hard plastic pouch on the top to throw keys or whatever, anything else in the top thing for snacks. Thing was awesome. All of my kids used that thing, and even the smaller versions that we had of that didn't recline all the way, but they were still wasn't like the umbrella strollers. and it would go like halfway or something like that, and it still had a little basket underneath for like a smaller diaper bag. And we're bringing that, the same one, the orange stroller we call it, because that's what color it is. That one's making one last tour this April with the 5-year-old, because he can't walk, and I can't.
They can't. They're too little.
And I'm not getting. It's not. We're driving, so it doesn't matter. Throw it in the roof rack on the top, and it's not bothering me. And I'm so used to flipping the thing up and carrying it on the bus. I stand in the wheel well, and I'm good. I've been doing it for 13 years, so it's not going to bother me for one more time. But the people, the problem is those people with the giant jogger strollers with like the bicycle tires, who number one, and I'll say it as a guy, most of the guys who, because they're the ones that usually try to fold them up and everything else, number one, are clueless. You're in the line for the bus. Get your goddamn kids out, fold your freaking stroller up, take the bags off, so when the door's opening, you're not standing there like a chooch, holding up the line, folding the stroller up, and then trying to get through people. Go stand in the well in the back. Most bus drivers that have a brain in their head know that's the only place you can fit with your stroller. You're not having it in the aisle while you're trying to sit with your stroller blocking the whole damn bus. It blows my mind how common sense escapes people with their strollers. It just really, I just don't understand it. It's not that freaking hard. It's not.
So strollers and buses.
So
we're avoiding this topic from now on.
Jeez. I can give a tutorial.
while we're
Just stand there and give a tutorial on how to get on a bus with a stroller and a sleeping child on my arm.
Do with them.
All right, chill, RJ,
So while
chill.
we're talking
Next.
about children, the kids clubs.
The kids clubs are closing.
Are now closing. The kids clubs are closing.
I'm
Parents.
heartbroken.
It's
I'm
because
heartbroken.
people didn't bring their strollers the right way to the kids club, so they don't want
Bless your heart. Just throw their strollers and their kids.
And listen, I'm not even having rum tonight, people. I'm on the iced tea, so maybe that's why I'm extra cranky then.
Caffeine.
Oh, I'm very sad. The 3 kids clubs that are located, I'm so sad. There's the Simba's Cub House at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Sandcastle Club at Beach Club, and Lilo's Playhouse at the Polynesian Resort, which we have used all 3 of them and loved them all, are closing because Disney says that not enough people are using them to make it financially worth it anymore. And yeah, I'm just really sad.
I call BS on that.
Well,
they're probably not
I was thinking about it
packed.
the other day. Like, no, they aren't packed, and it's $55 per kid from 4:30 until midnight.
That's
And
a
they're
good
feeding them.
That's a good price.
Yeah, and there's an AP discount,
right.
15% off, I think. So, for less than $100, I drop my kids off for 6 hours.
That's awesome.
Wow.
No, 7 hours. We don't ever let them stay up till midnight, but because I wouldn't want to have to pay the price the next day. But we drop them off at 4:30 when the doors open, and we probably don't go pick them up till 10 o'clock. So
That's still awesome, though. It's still 6 hours almost.
Yeah.
And with someone that I trust, because obviously I'm going to trust Disney in the way that they vet their cast members and the systems that they have in place, because no adults are allowed to go back behind into the actual kid center, even though I had to drag Zachary out last time because he discovered, what's it called? Minecraft.
Yep.
And it was all over. Literally the woman was like, "You're going to have to come get your kids." So, but they love it. Where else do you get to have a dance party with Captain Hook, do science experiments and cooking classes? And maybe that's it. Maybe they were too cool. They were too expensive.
It's on the ship. That's where that happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I can't get rid of them on the ships.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying it seems like it's a similar experience. Obviously not to the extent of the ships,
It
because the
does.
kids
It
have a
is.
whole floor, but
Yeah.
as far as the activities and how they keep the kids entertained, and
Right.
I know with the ship it's included in your sailing fee, but for $55, say $45 with whatever, I can't do math that fast, so whatever it is, under $100 for 2 kids for the night,
Right.
and then you go out.
It's totally worth it. And one time we used it because we had a reservation at Ohana. Neither of my children were interested in eating at Ohana. It was basically the same price. Get rid of the kids for a few hours and go and enjoy Ohana by myself with my husband.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Get your drink
So-
on.
Yeah.
So,
Well, not you. I know
Shrimp.
not you.
Get the shrimp on.
Get the shrimp on.
We were doing.
Get the dumplings on from Ohana.
Oh, dumplings and the noodles.
Dumpling till I explode.
Completely aside from what we're talking about right now, but I didn't get an Ohana for December, and my husband has not let me down. And today, or let me live it down. And today was our 180 day for our July trip, and that was the first thing I scored at 6 o'clock this morning.
Nice. Atta girl.
Nice.
Not doing that again.
No.
So, anywho, but
So-
I there is a
But the
fourth-
Swan and the Dolphin.
right. There
are
is a fourth
closing.
at Dolphin, and when I called to see if they would still be open, they said at this time there's no plans to close it. So, since Swan and Dolphin aren't technically Disney World resorts, that's not technically a kid center. So maybe there will still be hope for child-free evenings in the future.
Right. Well, the only other option is, I guess now, well, with the Dolphin
Night Out.
things, is, the service called Kids Night Out, which is an external service, but it is the only approved service to come onto Disney property because they've followed all the protocols and they have all the training. I personally have used them. We've used them twice. One for a group of 5 children. We were there without my little guy once when we went out, for the night in Epcot. It wasn't as long as, I don't remember what the cost was, but it was like regular babysitting things. I want to say maybe it was $25 or $30 per kid or something like that per the hour or whatever it was. I want to say we were.
Yeah, I've looked it up, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I want to say, we were out for, 4 hours maybe, and it was maybe $120, $130, and then plus a tip. And then we used it again just for my, our youngest. We were there and we did a Halloween party, and it was just too young for him to, he just wouldn't have known what was going on. So we just did it for just him for one night, for the length of the party, from 7 to midnight or whatever it was. And, they put him to bed, and same thing. The characters don't come, but she did games with the kids, and, they ate. I think we fed them beforehand, just made something in the room or whatever. They have movies, and you kind of tell them what they like, what time you want them to settle in and go to bed. And they all loved it. I mean, the kids, they were awesome. The people were awesome that do it. I think one person can do up to 5 kids or maybe 6 kids. So depending on if you have a lot of,
Wow.
we travel with a group, so usually there's more than just our own children.
Right.
But I know other people who have used the service too, and same thing, rave reviews, never an issue, very professional. They have your numbers for, same procedures for if there's an issue and things of that nature. So it's top notch. I mean, it has to be for Disney to let them on. So
Yeah, definitely.
it's definitely worth it.
So I have a question. What do you think they're going to be doing with those spaces now?
I wondered that because Lilo's
don't
Playhouse
know.
is a dedicated building.
Because that was before it was Lilo's Playhouse. It used to be called the Neverland Club.
Right.
Yeah.
Years and years and
I
years
still
ago.
call it that.
Yeah, I don't recall my parents ever bringing us to there, and with our children, we never used any of them, so I've never seen the inside of any of them. So I don't know how big they are. I know Adrianne said they're quite big, or that one at least in the Polynesian is big.
Lilo's Playhouse is pretty big. The one at
Is there
Beach Club-
demand for more dining or more rooms or anything?
I don't think that it would fit in those spaces.
No, because the one at the Polynesian's like in the front, right by the monorail station, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
It is, and it's like next to the laundry or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not connected to anything, so.
Yeah, it's a standalone building, and then the other ones are like tucked away, and like the Simba's Clubhouse is near the Mara, which is the quick service.
Yeah,
like-
that's right. Yep.
And the Sandcastle Club is, I mean, it could be a room, a hotel room, not that big.
Right.
So
Maybe a little
Don't-
quick
Storage.
service shack for sodas and snacks.
maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's technically not a babysitting service, but during the day, if you want to get rid of your kids for a little while, like I know we've at the boardwalk, even at night we've done it. I think was it the boardwalk? Yeah. I think it's on or maybe it was Key West. Key West. There's a little, because the little Conch Flats is supposed to be the little town. So on the backside near the pool, there's the little gurgling suitcase, like walk-up bar type thing, and then the little fast food kind of walk-up joint. Then after that, there's like their community hall, and it's kind of like it's like a rec room. Like I think they have like not a pool table, maybe like a foosball table or something like that. The little TV where kids can watch movies and stuff. You can pick movies out. You know, games, coloring, and things of that nature. And there's always like 2 or 3 cast members in there so I mean, you know, if you wanted to like ditch your kids in there while you go hung out in the pool for a couple hours, you could probably do that. And it's included. You don't have to pay extra. Maybe just pop your head in there once in a while. It's not an organized service, but it may work depending on how good your kids are. You know, I don't know. Just throwing a suggestion out there.
You know, I'm open to anything at this point.
I mean, my kids are.
I love my kids. I have to put that out there. I really
oh no,
do.
I know. Me too. But it is nice to go around without them sometimes.
It is. I mean, one time we used it this last trip was to go see Star Wars. My kids were not at all interested in sitting in a 2.5-hour movie or however long it was. So, you know, that was a great option. Plus, I hate I'm so over Disney Springs. It's not even funny. And it's crowded and congested, and I can't find my way anywhere. And navigating
right?
is insane. So anything that if I don't have to take my kids there, I'm perfectly happy.
There's nothing for children to do there anymore unless you wander through the shops.
Not. And
There's
even the shops are too adult, and they're catering to the more expensive.
Yeah, well, I mean, like on the old side, like where World of Disney is and the candy store, and like those original shops.
Stresses me out. First off, the carpet. You cannot push a stroller on the carpet in the World of Disney.
That store is a trap anyway.
But they're refurbing that, right? Like
all of them, I think all the stores the World of Disney stores are supposed to be getting, rethemed to something.
Disney,
yes.
If you're listening, like, can you put in tile or hardwood or something?
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be easier to clean anyway.
Sorry, that's my rant.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't experienced much of the new Disney Springs. We definitely haven't been there with our kids yet. The only time we were really there, my wife and I were there ourselves, and it was a rainy night. We kind of walked around. We went and we ate at Blaze Pizza, and, you know, shopping doesn't appeal to me at all. I could care less about any of those stores because there's 15 malls I can go to up here if I really wanted to. Same with my wife.
Man, like, I can go to Sephora on my phone.
I get not every part of the country has that luxury, if you want to call it, that there's a giant mall near them to get all this stuff. So it is a treat for some people, but to me, it's just stupid. It's, you know, the other side with the restaurants and all that stuff, I'm very interested in that. I wouldn't mind doing that, but I know that gets busy. It's a big draw now. Locals love that. It's like, you know, like what Pleasure Island used to be before. Well, maybe not like Pleasure Island used to be, because Pleasure Island was strictly for Disney. It went downhill when they started letting locals in and everything else. But this seems to be a little better controlled, I guess. If you, I don't know. I haven't been down there during the nightlife, but I know it does get busy. It's very popular. There's a ton of options now. I think the Edison just opened.
It did.
And it has some great stuff I've seen on the menu. Pictures of some beautiful
there's
food.
Bacon hanging on
The bacon meat curtain, for lack of a better term, is,
ridiculous.
And I've heard it's flippin' delicious.
I'm sure it is.
Beyond
it's
belief.
Bacon. You can't get better than that.
No, you
but
can't.
It's on a clothesline.
It's on a clothesline. Yeah, the presentation is phenomenal.
It's insane.
So and the bar itself is supposed to be really, really cool. It's like got besides the decor that looks pretty awesome, the whole vibe is cool. It's like that old
steampunk. It reminds me of
steampunk, but it has like live lounge jazz music playing, like live band doing that with you know, singers and stuff. That's awesome to me. Like, I like that. I mean, I like rock and roll music, but if I'm hanging out to be just listening to like chill lounge music, that's cool. And making great cocktails and stuff, that's cool. So I'm down with that. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so, you know, back to the kids clubs.
I don't have anything else. I don't think.
I don't either. I don't know either.
Sad.
I don't know.
That's all I got.
But yeah, no,
so Disney, if you're listening, like, bring them back. At least one.
Do so. Yeah, I know. It's hard to. So I don't know. My kids are kind of, at least my older two are on the outer edge of that. They're, they'll hang.
It stops
they'll
at
do that
12,
stuff,
I
so.
think. So.
Yeah. So it's just my little guy, and well, I wouldn't do it for. He's at that age where I can't get away with leaving him behind, and anymore.
Taking the other ones.
And taking the other ones. Yeah, he's just gonna be like, no, I'm coming too, and you're gonna have to deal with it. So. So I don't know. We'll find out in April. But all right, I don't know. I think that was everything, unless it's anything anybody else can think about. Like, did they have any of that? Actually, now that I think about it, Jessica, is there any sort of options like that in Disneyland? They have any sort of leave your child centers?
So they had one in the Grand Californian called Pinocchio's Workshop, and they closed it down last year for the same reason. They said that it really wasn't popular. And I don't know if there is one in the Disneyland Hotel or in Paradise Pier Hotel, but that was at least the biggest one. And it doesn't exist anymore. So I think that's the direction that they're going, probably in all of the resorts.
Just don't know that they exist.
Right.
They
it's
probably
not
don't.
Advertised anywhere.
They never
so
advertise
how would you
them.
know?
Because honestly, until we spoke before recording, I had no idea there was another one in the Dolphin. No clue. And I know very little about those two resorts anyway, because I've never been in them. I've walked through them many, many years ago, but I don't know anything about either one of them.
Yeah. So I feel like they weren't utilized in a way that made them more profitable.
You would have thought they would have been gold mines,
right? I mean, honestly. But then a lot of people look at me crazy when they think that there are things to do in Disney without your children. So
yeah, people do look at you funny that way when you say, like, if you're just there, like, if you're just there with your significant other walking around, and people just assume maybe you don't have any kids. But if you start talking to people like, yeah, we're here, we left our kids home with the grandparents, or kids are with a babysitter, and like, what? I'm like, yeah. What's wrong with that? I don't know.
I know. I'm with you.
What are you gonna do? To each their own.
Exactly.
All right, so I guess on that note.
Yeah, but nobody looks at you funny if you're on the cruise ship and you've got your kids in the kids club basically from noon until midnight.
No, because they market that.
I know, right? So,
and I think it's a different vibe, right? Like Disney World is a family
because people,
destination.
Right. The cruises, they know they want to bill it as the family, but they know there's generally cruise ships were all adult activities. There was gambling, drinking, dinners and cocktails and shows and things of that nature. So now when you had to spin it to get the family involved in it, and then when they still have some of that aspect on the ship, there's no gambling, but there still is nice shows. There still is somewhat
bingo,
of a
man.
What's that?
Not bingo.
Right, no, I played bingo every night. I've told the story on here numerous times. So yeah, and our kids have never been on a cruise, so Melanie's the only one that can speak of with having children on the cruise on here. I know Milford cruises a lot, but I'm not sure if he has his kids are older.
No, not younger kids. I've taken my younger daughter.
We don't see our kids all day long.
Right. And I can
teenagers now, so they don't need our help getting around the ship. But
when they were
see them. When they were little.
The one cruise we were
on. The light
on,
at the end of my parenting tunnel right there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the kid that was at our table with the family when we were on when we went on our one cruise, we saw him the first night, and that was it. After that, he was at whatever one it was club. At then, and he was he was 11 or 12 if I remember correctly. I don't even know, and never saw him again until maybe the last night. Never saw him again. At dinner. So, at dinner, I'm sure he did other stuff.
No threat of the Disney Cruise Line kids clubs closing. In fact, that's why there's no casinos. They take that square footage and it's all dedicated to the different kids activities, which is fine by me because that's one of the reasons my kids like it so much, even the teenagers.
I think it's well played anyway. I don't gamble. I could give two hoots.
I think it's just an example of something that's done really well on Disney Cruise Line that does not translate over to Disney World or Disneyland. So
right.
Which is fine. We have our own things.
Oh yeah, no, it's nice to be different. Okay. Well, I guess that's all, folks.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we thank everybody for listening, and we'll talk to everybody next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Follow our troupe at www.dizexplorers.com, where you can find all the links for all our hosts' social media accounts. You can also follow the podcast on our Facebook group at The Diz Explorers and on Twitter and Instagram at The Diz Explorers. You can download this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, and also on YouTube. Thanks for listening.
Hope you had a good time. So long from Jiminy Cricket and Spectro Magic.